What got someone promoted on their first day in the Army? Private Marcus Johnson arrived at our base straight from basic training. 18 years old, fresh-faced kid from Oklahoma who'd never been further than Dallas before enlisting. His first morning, he's getting the standard new guy briefing when alarms started blaring. Not a drill, real emergency. Chemical attack warning system going off full blast across the entire installation. Everyone's scrambling for mop gear, gas masks, protective suits, the whole 9 yards. Chaos everywhere as soldiers try to remember their NBC training while running for shelter. Johnson just stood there, didn't move. Staff sergeant screaming at him to get his mask on. Kid looks confused, sniffs the air, then does something that made everyone think he'd lost his mind. He walked outside, into the supposed chemical cloud. No protective gear, just his regular uniform and a weird, calm expression. We're all watching through the windows, expecting to see him drop dead from nerve agent exposure. Instead, he starts laughing. Actually laughing. Turns out Johnson grew up on a farm. His family raised cattle and chickens. He knew exactly what he was smelling, and it wasn't chemical weapons. The base sewage treatment facility had suffered a major malfunction. Thousands of gallons of raw waste had spilled, creating the most ungodly stench you can imagine. Sensors picked it up as a potential chemical threat. While 3,000 soldiers were sealed in buildings wearing gas masks, this farm kid walks right up to the source of the problem, finds the broken valve that caused the spill, shuts it off manually. 20 minutes later, all clear sounds. Everyone comes outside to find Johnson hosing down the area, trying to minimize the smell. Covered in sewage, but grinning like an idiot. False alarm, he announces to the base commander who'd just arrived in full chemical protection gear. Just a busted septic line. Fixed it myself. The colonel stared at this kid who just solved a crisis that had the entire base in lockdown. How did you know it wasn't a chemical attack? Sir, I've been smelling cow manure my whole life. This was just people manure. Little different, same basic concept. Base commander was so impressed he called the Pentagon. Here's a private, first day on duty, who showed more critical thinking than 3,000 trained soldiers and their officers. Got promoted to private first class on the spot. Skipped the usual waiting period entirely. Then got assigned to the base engineering unit as a utilities specialist. 6 months later, he prevented a real disaster. Noticed irregularities in the water treatment system that could have poisoned half the base. His farm experience with water systems caught what computer monitoring missed. Promoted to specialist, then to sergeant ahead of schedule. Rose through the ranks faster than anyone in base history. The sewage incident became legendary. They started calling it Johnson's nose and used it in training exercises. How one soldier's practical experience trumped all the fancy equipment and protocols. Johnson stayed in for 8 years, left as a staff sergeant with commendations for preventing multiple infrastructure failures. His practical knowledge saved the Army millions in potential damages. After discharge, he started his own environmental consulting company, specializes in military installations, makes 6 figures helping bases avoid the kind of problems he spotted as a teenager. Last I heard, he was working with the Pentagon on updating their chemical detection systems, adding farm boy common sense protocols to high-tech sensors. The funny part? His official personnel file lists his first day promotion reason as demonstrated exceptional judgment under pressure and superior situational awareness. Reality was simpler. Kid knew the difference between chemical weapons and a broken toilet. Sometimes the most valuable military skill is just basic common sense. That promotion launched his entire career, all because he wasn't afraid to walk toward a bad smell while everyone else was running away from it. Military loves to talk about thinking outside the box. Johnson proved sometimes you don't need the box at all. Just trust your nose and use your brain.